Right now, every order ships absolutely free.
What if you could tackle your dog's itching, paw-licking, mushy poops, and low energy with a simple 3-minute change to their diet? Millions of pet parents are raving about Dr. Marty Nature's Blend, the anti-kibble breakthrough that's helping dogs act like puppies again.
Such a huge difference in her health. More energy, more playful, no more pooping issues.
He's healthier, he looks better. This is my way more energetic dog.
I'm Dr. Marty. I've been a veterinarian for more than 50 years. The dangerous ingredients added to many pet foods could be impacting your dog's lifespan. That's why I formulated Nature's Blend.
Now you can feed your dog wholesome cuts of real meat, vegetables, and fruit with no artificial preservatives or fillers. Unlike fresh food, Nature's Blend is gently freeze-dried. This means extraordinary health benefits, but with zero prep, zero fridge, and zero mess.
I just feed her right out of the bag. She's obsessed with this food. Thank you, Dr. Marty.
And for a limited time, get up to 54% off with our special TV offer. Call or go to...
They mock him.
I just think you're dumb.
Hillary's book blamed him.
A prominent Trump supporter, Aubrey Shines, produced an online video attacking me.
John Oliver mocks him, calls him a nut job from Tampa. Trump thanked him. So he continues to shine the light.
We can do better, we will do better, but we'll only make it happen if you are informed. That's what we're here to do.
America shines when you're connected to Aubrey Shines. Here's your host, Aubrey Shines.
Hey, welcome to America Shines. I am your host, Aubrey Shines. We're watching a seismic change, not just here in the United States of America, it's actually reverberating really across the globe because of the United States of America. There are just a few areas that I want to kind of delve into today. I really want you to kind of put on your thinking cap today. I'm going to shine the light on some areas. If you understand this template that I'm going to lay down for you, you'll see it. Historically, when you study history, obviously through the lens of change, you'll always find at least several components. I'm only time today to really just kind of share with you a few of those. Those are political things, those are ecumenical things, and it's how it's published, or what we call media things. But I really want to focus first on the position that we all see that's very, very clear before us. And again, not necessarily in any particular order, but I'm going to start out with Dr. Martin Luther King. Something he said is very powerful. I'm paraphrasing it. You can go and look up the quote yourself, but he said it this way. His position was, and again, you'll find this throughout all nations, by the way. I don't care if that nation believes in a Judeo-Christian ethos or any other idea as it relates to God. But Dr. King, echoing a Christian ethos, talking about the formation of the nation, etc., he kind of put it this way. He said that the church is the conscience of the state. It's not its slave, it's not its master, he said, but it's the conscience of it. What was he really implying? He said the way that the church presents itself, the way that the church lives out its creed, he said it becomes the conscience for the state to operate. Not just, of course, ecumenically, but he's talking about politically as well. And again, what we're watching is a seismic shift. In other words, there's this earthquake of a magnitude of some sort, and it's pretty catastrophic, by the way. And we're watching it reverberate. I mean, it's so hot here in the United States of America, you can't even really keep up with it unless individuals like myself, we are news junkies. We keep up with what's going on, not just here in America, but globally, how the policies that we have here, how they impact. Well, there was something that was said by Barack Hussein Obama, and I thought this is interesting because I'm going to show you a few things. Again, you're going to see the seismic shifting or this change, this earthquake of some sort. There's a reverberation that's going on. I want you to hear what Barack Hussein Obama said, why it really, really matters. And then I'm going to show you a congressperson who's really saying something very different, but yet she did not complain when Barack Hussein Obama said it. Let's go to the clip.
One of the commitments that I made to the American people was that we would do a better job here in Washington in rooting out wasteful spending. We don't need to wait for Congress in order to do something about wasteful spending that's out there. Cutting waste, making government more efficient is something that leaders in both parties have worked on. We haven't seen as much action out of Congress as we'd like.
Interesting, isn't it? You and I would call it the Department of what we call Dodge, and they're just trying to be efficient. Yet there's an outcry. There's a seismic stop it moment. That's what you really hear. It's like, don't do it. Now, notice something. There was no outcry when Barack Obama said it, and he said, hey, we don't need Congress to do it yet. We're watching his same ideas. By the way, it's a constitutional idea, because anybody that understands just basic commonality of our Constitution understands that the executor, the president, they do have a right to do this. Yep, I get it. There are some little district judges. They're trying to usurp authority over our executor. They can't do that. But what they're really doing is they're holding up the process. You would think, well, everybody would be on board for rooting out any waste. I mean, you and I, if we run homes, we just won't do things to cause waste in our homes. It could be the demise of our home. We could lose our home, lose our cars, lose those things if we don't manage ourselves. Again, you would think this is common sense. Yet, again, I go back to Martin Luther King and the things he said. He said, when we lose conscience as it relates to doing what's right and what's wrong, then we'll just take a position and we won't even understand why. There's a congressperson, and I always try to be very kind on this show. I try to demonstrate with some degree of discipline to never get into name calling and that sort of thing. But boy, this is really tempting here, because I think that this young congressperson epitomizes something that all of us, at least I can speak for myself, she makes me want to regurgitate, and forgive me for being so crass. This is horrible. She is so incoherent. Don't take my word. She went on a very popular podcast guy. I'm not fond of him at all. These are all race baiters. Again, I digress. But I want you to hear what Congressman Crockett had to say. I can't make this up. Take a look at it, and you be the judge.
There is a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government, though.
I'm not going to say that there's a lot. I'm going to say that it does exist. I'm going to say that it exists. I don't think that there's a lot. I think.
So why are we so in debt then?
We're in debt because we decide that we're going to reduce the income.
I come from a business-oriented home. That had to be the when I first saw it, I confess to you, my audience, I thought it was satire. And then I realized, wait a minute, that's Congressman Crockett. She said when she was confronted, because she didn't think that a good question would come. I was shocked that Charlamagne asked it. But she didn't think that, I assume she didn't think, maybe she doesn't think, that type of question would come. And he says, well, why are we in such a bad scenario here? And her next answer is what shocked me. I couldn't believe she was saying it. I confess to you, I had to go back to make sure, is this the congressional leader that represents her district? And it was. I was so shocked, thanks to my producer for finding that. But notice what she said. She said, well, you know, it's because we're reducing salaries. Well, time out. The government should have nothing to do with that. That's the problem. She didn't have a problem when Barack said what he was saying. And again, everyone recognizes we have a problem economically in this nation that I don't think, by the way, in the next month or two is really going to be fixed, because you can't take 4 years, decimate an economy, and then just expect this massive turn just in 30 days. Yes, Donald Trump is doing a great job, and I could do an entire show on why, and the policies and the executive orders that they're pushing forward, and how it is going to turn. But think about what this congressional leader said. And it was so beyond me. I thought for a moment, is she serious? Does she not understand the basic idea of our economy? And I guess one would have to conclude either she does, and she just, I don't know, don't want to give credit to where credit is doing. And that is, the party that she belongs to is why we're here in the first place. And or maybe she really doesn't get it. I don't know. I don't know what the real answer is. I can't get inside of her head. I really wouldn't want to. It's scary. What's even scarier is that people would not take time in her district to find out what she believes, because her policies are destroying you. And if her policies are lived out, not just for the district that she represents, but if her policies are really lived out, all of us would really be in a problem. At least we would find ourselves in a major problem. Why? Because it doesn't make any sense. I don't want to let her go. I don't. She said something else on the congressional floor that when we come back, I want to show it to you for purpose, that you would be enlightened, understanding this is what we do every week. We shine the light on it, but I'm not going to stop there. I am going to address Joy Reid and others. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Are you sitting right now? It could be harming your health. Back pain, stress, and serious health risks can build up from sitting too long. But motion changes everything. Introducing Ready Rocker with its patented Rock Perfect design that supports your spine as it helps improve posture, relieve back pain, boost circulation, and release endorphins for your overall well-being, no matter where you are. Lightweight, portable, and covered in memory foam, Ready Rocker instantly transforms any chair or space into a healthier sitting experience.
Sitting too long isn't just uncomfortable, it's unhealthy. With Ready Rocker, we make sitting a healthier experience for people of all ages.
From soothing babies to helping with posture, back pain, and stress, we discovered that rocking can truly improve lives.
Sitting is the new smoking. A sedentary lifestyle, whether you're sitting at a desk or in a vehicle all day, is not good for the body to just stay in that same position. And that's why the Ready Rocker is so effective. The rocking motion constantly keeps you active and helps you ease pain, reduces stress. It actually releases endorphins in the brain. It's a mood booster.
I used to be in pain all the time, but with Ready Rocker, I felt relief, and I'm in a better mood. I take it everywhere.
I can literally feel the stress being taken off my joints while rocking.
My back stopped hurting, my arthritis felt better. It's just wonderful.
Now you can join the movement that's changing lives and helping thousands find relief. Call now or go online to get 35% off your purchase. We'll even ship it for free. Plus, you'll get this bonus canvas tote bag.
Ready Rocker is changing lives one rock at a time.
Now it's your turn to experience the relief for yourself.
Call 1-800-592-1572 or go to GetReadyRocker.com. That's 1-800-592-1572 or go to GetReadyRocker.com. Call now.
The Cabinets to Go Buy More, Save More sale is going on now.
Hurry in for your free 3D design. Save up to 40%. And start enjoying your new dream kitchen for as low as $143 per month.
Get more wow for less at Cabinets to Go.
Allegiance Flag Supply believes American flags should be made in America.
Our symbol of freedom made outside our borders, that did not sit right.
Join us in our mission to keep the American flag truly American. Don't settle for flags made elsewhere.
Every flag is proudly crafted in the USA with superior materials.
Visit showallegiance.com to order your high-quality, made-in-America flag today. That's showallegiance.com.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now.
Call 800-714-8615.
Shouting the battle cry of freedom.
I'm so glad that you're taking a moment, because I want to methodically just kind of go through a few things here. And I want to, I want to go back in just a few more moments back to Congressman Crockett here, because she epitomizes the seismic shift that's going on in our nation. The only thing that she really pays attention to, and I guess this is what her constituents have put her in office for. Unfortunately, it's a false narrative, but the beauty of this country, if that's what they believe in, they have a right to elect someone like her. Even in my opinion, she's probably one of the worst congressional leaders that's out there, because she embodies something that this country has not only regurgitated, but millions of people have given their lives literally on a battlefield to fight against. And other giants in this nation allows us to stand on their shoulders to overcome these obstacles that we found ourselves in. But she doesn't see it that way. And I think it's always better to allow a person to speak for herself or himself instead of me giving a position based on what I heard and I extrapolate from what he or she says and then I share with you. Don't take my word for it. Do not take my word for it. Let's go to the clip of this Congress lady and you'll hear it for yourself. Let's see it.
Instead, we're pushing conspiracy theories, and some of them are killing people. It's the same thing that we have coming out of Doge. It's the reason that people are dying. It's the reason that farmers are losing their farms, because we continue to peddle conspiracy theories. It is time for us to say, Mr. President, guess what? Russia invaded Ukraine.
I can't make that up. By the way, that was not edited. I promise you. You can find it. Just go out to the congressional page. You can find the exact clip out there. Those are her words. She went from the farmers. By the way, that has everything to do with policy. That's why during Trump's first presidency, if you remember, he cut the deals for us, those of us in the United States of America, and he said to places like Canada, hey, you guys are not going to be selling us milk and eggs and all these things jacked up. He said, we can do these things ourselves. We don't need you for that. So again, it was the policies of her president, the Democratic Party, that said, no, we should see ourselves as this big globalist group. Trump comes in and says, no, we need to take care of ourselves. By the way, that's a Judeo-Christian idea. That idea comes from Scripture. Whether Trump knew it and or you know it, it goes back to some of the more ancient writings of Paul, the apostle, and the others that just simply said that a man that doesn't take care of his house, he's worse than an infidel. Those are the type of policies that we're seeing. We're preserving ourselves first. It's like love. You can't love your neighbor unless you have a love for yourself. That doesn't work. Thomas Sowell said something. I want to read it to you here, and I want you to really pay attention. I love this guy, probably one of my top 10 guys, girls that are out there. Hear Thomas Sowell's words here. He says, what is your fair share of what someone else has worked for? I want that to sink in. What is your fair share of what someone else has actually worked for? I think that really embodies everything here, doesn't it? Because it talks about you and I don't have the right to take over someone or to say, hey, I deserve some of the things that you work for. Where I come from, that's called being a thief, having a mind of you covet what someone else wants. It opens you up to, you're jealous that someone else has worked real hard. Now, for all of you DEI people, because that's what Crockett is really trying to make a point of, even though she does a horrible job at saying it, she's really saying that people that don't work for something should have the right to what other people work for, and that there should be fairness, there should be this DEI. They're upset about it. But I want to say especially, and I usually don't take time to do this, especially to black and brown people out there and white liberals that are out there, when you think it's unfair and this president, he's wicked, he's a racist, he's getting away and getting rid of the DEI, flash news bulletin. DEI decimates white men. I'll say it again. DEI decimate white men. By the way, it decimates also Asians. Yeah, because when you look at the numbers, if these individuals are getting, quote, better grades than whatever ethnic counterpart, why are we penalizing Asians? Why are we penalizing, I don't know, guys and girls from India studying hard, working? No, they're not organically smarter than anyone else. There are no studies for that. That's a myth. That's another racial trope that individuals put out there to make you believe something that's not true. If you put a lot of time into studying and understanding a particular subject, you're really going to become pretty good at that particular subject. But if DEI really worked, I want you to think about this. Why are the Crockett's and the others that are crying against Donald Trump? He's a racist. He's getting rid of DEI. This is a shame. It's hurting poor black people. No, it's not. It really isn't. Because if they really believed in DEI, why are not the same individuals speaking against, I don't know, the NFL? The NFL has more black players than it does white, Asian. So if you wanted equity, if you wanted inclusion, let's cut the rosters of the NFL considerably, by the way. Take it from the upper 80, lower 90% and say, no, we're going to have to make a determination. And with DEI, we got to get rid of those NFL players. We got to get rid of the LeBrons and everybody else. We must bring in other white, Asian, Hispanic players. Forget about if maybe for whatever reason they don't measure up to, a LeBron type or a great NFL guy. Let's slash the rosters. Let's put in white guys. Let's put in Asian guys. Let's put in every other ethnic group. America, wake up. DEI is not about that. They're telling you that. They want you to believe that. Why? They understand that if they can continue to push the race narrative, you'll believe it. You'll see it as it's racist. But if it's real racism, then again, you can't ignore the NBA. You cannot ignore the NFL. You cannot ignore not just athletic sports, but you can't ignore any of these things. How about our military? You can't ignore our military. Why? Because if you need DEI in it to be fair and equal, here's a flash news bulletin. The majority of our military guys that give their lives, then we're going to have to put more blacks in the military, make sure that they are killed in the line of action. Why would I say something that sounds horrible? Because it's factual. 70% of the men that give their lives defending this nation, you ready for this? They're white. Yes, they are white. So if you want DEI, then say to the black, brown community, say to the Jasmine Crockett's and the other race baiters like Hakeem Jeffries, tell them, no. We're going to stop having so many white people die. We got to put some more black. We need more black people to die for the country. Put them in our military. And when there's a skirmish, God help us all. We don't need any of that. Thank God for Donald Trump that took us out of wars. But if you wanted to go back to the policies of Barack Obama, if you wanted to go back to the policies of George W. Bush, if you wanted to go back to the policies of Joe Biden, then when people are engaging in war, make sure proportionately that you take away the 60% of white guys that are out there fighting, take the 13% of the population of the blacks, increase it double-fold. That way, if you have several thousand casualties, it won't be white guys. The majority would be black. See, that's the lunacy of DEI. By the way, DEI really impacts not against, quote, black and white. No, it's against white men. And number two, it actually promotes, you ready? The LGBTQ community. That's what real DEI or inclusion is all about. So when you hear the false narratives out there telling you, hey, no, this is hurting blacks. Again, I'm a numbers guy. This may be very uncomfortable for so many of you to hear it. Don't take my word. I beg you, do not take my word on what I'm sharing with you. Do your research. Go out to the statistics. Find out how many of our military guys have given their life. Compare the ethnic groups. Don't take my word for it on the NBA courts or the NFL. Find out how many blacks are out there. Slash that number. Put some white guys out there. Put some Asian guys out there. And then find out who really is the benefit. Who's benefiting, rather, from these policies. No, it's not black people. That was taken care of in the 1964 Civil Rights Bill. People wake up. This is why we do the work here. We crunch the numbers. It's uncomfortable. I get it. But we do it for a reason, that you can be informed. That's why we're doing it. You think this is hot? Wait until the next segment. It's going to blow you away. We'll be right back.
Gentlemen, there's a war on your face, and the enemy is relentless. Eye bags, dark spots, wrinkles, dry skin. They will stop at nothing to make you look older than you feel. But you don't have to stand by and surrender. It's time to fight back with Particle, face cream for men. Particle's 6-in-1 formula is the secret weapon you've been looking for. It's the ultimate counterattack against the signs of aging. The mission: diminish eye bags, reduce wrinkles, remove dark spots, defeat dry skin. Enlist with Particle today and join men just like you who decided to fight back and won the battle against aging. Visit ParticleMen.com. Lock in your target. Use the promo code on your screen to secure 25% off your entire order. We're offering free shipping and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Join the fight with Particle.
Do you have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit legacybox.com today and get 50% off.
If anyone has told you that gaining weight, feeling tired, and struggling with nagging digestive and joint issues is just a part of getting older, they are wrong. My name is Dr. Stephen Gundry, and after years of struggling with these same issues, I found a new way to support my health at home by making one simple change to my diet. It's called BioComplete 3. BioComplete 3 works by restoring your gut health from the inside out. This is a major part of how I lost 70 pounds and have kept the weight off for 25 years. It's not just me. This is working for everybody. Joe helped his gut health, and you can see the changes, not just how he looks on the outside, but how much better he felt on the inside.
I was 270. I'm now 140. It just feels amazing. Thank you, Dr. Gundry.
I helped all these people achieve incredible changes to their weight, their digestion, even their skin. And for a limited time, you can try BioComplete 3 risk-free for 90 days. Go to guthealthsecret.com.
The FBI calls it house stealing, the latest scam where a cyber thief transfers the title of your home out of your name and steals your hard-earned equity.
It's roughly 60 to 90 days for that person to even figure out that they're the victim of this crime. You start getting foreclosure notices and you realize you've got 4 mortgages on your house that you didn't even know existed.
Unfortunately, it's on you to protect yourself. You might already be a victim. Check your title status now at HomeTitleLock.com.
The bathroom of your dreams is only a phone call away with BCI Bath and Shower. We can make your ordinary bath and shower extraordinary. This is not a cookie-cutter design. This is a complete custom build that will fit your every need, and discounts for seniors and military.
The battle cry of freedom.
So that seismic journey that I began with in my open monologue, where again, we see it lived out through the lens of our political scope here in America. That's why I took a moment to show you the congressional leader, Crockett. But we also see it playing out in our media. We see the shifting that's going on. One of the reasons, by the way, is because of stations like this, Real America's Voice, and others. We've learned something in this past election, that even though they were feeding us a bunch of polls, what America was really thinking, groups like ours, we were speaking out against this from the beginning because we had a different bird's eye view here. We knew the real polling, and we knew that America wasn't buying into it. We also realized that the legacy media was on a decline. And groups like ours, Real America's Voice, and others that are out there, we knew that. This is why we continue just to bombard, and just present the facts, not our opinions. We're entitled to them, but we just stayed with the data. And this is what I love about America Shines. We take time, we do the numbers, we dig, we look at the facts. And again, I know it makes certain individuals uncomfortable because it seems like, well, you're not talking about this or that, making everything racial. Well, I don't see it that way. I believe that there's only one race, and I believe there are multiple ethnic groups, but there's only one race. It's the human race. And I think we've all had our problems, regardless of what ethnic group you come from. But when we see this seismic shift begin to happen, that seismic shift, that earthquake, we begin to see it in some of the most highest paid guys and girls that's on what's called legacy media, they begin to decline. That earthquake shaking, that seismic shifting, we begin to see it happen. I would be remorse not to take a moment. I couldn't help myself. I really thought about this in the last few days, but I had to kind of dig in here a little bit because this is one of the individuals I always showed you throughout the year. I always thought she was a lunatic, a very intelligent lunatic. I don't take that back. Very privileged, very smart, by the way. But again, she's one of these race grievance individuals, the ones that Booker T. Washington, and I'll just show you something. I won't quote him exactly, but I use his quote all the time. He said, there is a disease in this nation about race. And he said, it is prevalent that certain individuals continue to perpetuate it. In other words, they got to keep the race issue alive. Booker T. Washington said it for this reason. He said, because it makes them very prominent. It keeps them a job. It makes it very lucrative for them. Even if it doesn't exist, just keep saying it. And they can carve out a niche in this nation that will identify with it because they realize that niche that identifies with it, they're not looking at the data, but man, does it feel good. Why? Because when people don't succeed sometimes, it's very easy to blame someone else. I don't succeed, I blame my neighbor. I don't do well in life, I blame my neighbor. You know, my car doesn't run as nice, I blame my neighbor. It doesn't run as, you know, whatever it is, I blame someone else instead of taking responsibility myself. This is what our media did. This is why we're seeing a seismic shift. Again, I want to show you something. These are her words, not mine. You become the judge of it. Let's take a look at it.
You think, oh yeah, they let the race lady in. Blah, affirmative action. Blah. Well, listen, let me cheer you up, okay? I got into Harvard and, okay, Yale, Vassar, and the University of Denver, too, because I had a really high GPA and fantastic SAT scores. Let me just be clear. I got into Harvard only because of affirmative action.
I can't make it up. That's what the media, and again, they're not going to show you themselves. That girl didn't evolve. No. She said what she meant. And by the way, I did the study on this some years ago about Joy Reid. She didn't get into Harvard and Yale because of some DEI program. She got in there because she was smart. By the way, she may want you to think that, you know, she struggled. I studied her mom, her dad. This young lady had a really nice and a great life, obviously with great parents, and they pushed strong academia into her mind. Again, I didn't edit that for that purpose. She said, hey, I got into Harvard, into Yale, into Vassar. Why? She said, because I was smart. I had a great GPA. But what is she really saying then to the other black and brown people out there? You're not smart. You're not as bright. You can't do it. And in other words, lean on me. Now, watch how she has evolved when things didn't go right. Now, remember what she first said. I got in there because I had a very high GPA. I went to Harvard. I went to Yale. I went to Vassar. In other words, I went to the creme of la creme, at least in her mind. But the moment it didn't work out for her, the moment you and I said, we're sick of the race lady, watch how she changed. Let's go to that clip.
There's a thing about both white vigilantism and white tears, particularly male white tears. Really white tears in general, because that's what Karens are, right? They Karen out, and then as soon as they get caught, Green Waterworks. White men can get away with that too, and it has the same effect.
My show had value, and that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV.
You say, I'm sure you're going to write me and say, hey, you're being a bit callous. I'm not. Because one, I don't believe her tears are real. Maybe to some degree they're real in the sense that she was able to excrete from her tear ducts some liquid to come out. But again, it contradicts everything that she says that she really believed in. In one breath, she's a Harvard, Yale graduate. By the way, she's a multi-millionaire. That's who she is, a multimillionaire. And her whole show, when you would watch it, I was forced to, it was always racial grievance. That white man, that white male, horrible white people, white. By the way, the corporation she worked for, yep, you got it. They were not black. They were not Haitian. These were white men that basically owns that whole group. So in one breath, I'm going to take their money, but I'm going to say how horrible these individuals are. That's Joy Reid. But why didn't it work for her in the end? Because people begin to regurgitate the lies. They realize this is not about that. Stop blaming people for their hard work and their labor. Joy, like you, hard work, labor, you studied hard. Kudos. But that's bigotry, soft bigotry, when you imply, but no one else can do it other than the elite, people like me. That's what she was really saying. When I come back, you're going to be shocked at what you're going to see. Stay tuned.
My back got injured very bad. I was off work for about a year. I heard about Relief Factor from my wife. I took it every day, 3 times a day for 3 weeks. I'd look at her and I said, the pain is gone. And she said, I'm glad it helped. I said, no, you don't understand. It's gone.
Relief Factor is a daily supplement that doesn't just mask pain, it helps eliminate it. Call or go online now for our 3-week quick start, just $19.95.
This is our last chance to help save thousands of Holocaust survivors who are suffering in the former Soviet Union today. The needs that these forgotten Jews have are something beyond anything you can imagine.
Have you eaten this morning?
I ate the carrot, so I ate half of it yesterday. And this is what she ate in 2 days, 1 carrot. Please pray for me.
The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews began this ministry to help elderly Jews living in horrible poverty around the world. We urgently need your gift of $25 now to help provide 1 survival food box with all of the foods they critically need for their diet for 1 month. When you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives.
I have a tremendous love for Israel and the Jewish people. This is why I'm partnering with the fellowship. It gives me a way to authentically bless Jewish people in need around the world.
I believe in God, but I sometimes feel maybe He forgot me. Perhaps you could tell my story, and I would find a matching soul that would understand. I face hunger again.
Please don't delay. Call, scan, or go online now to help rush 1 survival food box to a Holocaust survivor. When you call right now, your gift's impact will be doubled to help save lives.
This is what God wants from us. Just feed the hungry.
If you hear God's voice, I'm asking you to act now. Do it when it's on your heart. I pray that they'll know in their final months that they're not alone.
Here at Allegiance, we feel like American flags should be made in America.
When we started Allegiance, we were shocked to learn how many American flags were actually being made overseas.
Every flag we make is proudly crafted in the USA with superior materials.
Join us in our mission to keep the American flag truly American.
Visit showallegiance.com to order your high-quality American flag today. That's showallegiance.com.
Shouting the battle cry of freedom.
Again, I'm not being callous when I say the things that I say, but I always find it very interesting for individuals that find it very difficult to kind of read between some of the lines here. I want you to consider what's really going on in our nation. Remember, I started out with there's a seismic change that's going on. There's this earthquake of sort where everything is kind of being shaken. And again, I spoke of the various areas. I limited them intentionally just to a few areas as related to our media, our political landscape. Eventually, I think I'll be able to pick up some of the ecumenical portions that we're seeing. Again, there's a seismic shift that's going on even within our churches as well. But I wanted you to see the heart of this, and this is the reason why I tried to take time to methodically walk you, the audience, through these various systems here. I know it's a labyrinth of some sort where I'm taking you from channel to channel and stream to stream, but I'm intentionally trying to methodically walk you through it. That way you can see how we're shining the light on it. I'm taking that type of time for a reason. Now, again, if you remember early in the show, I said, hey, the benefits, those who benefits rather from the DEI was never black people. Yeah, they make you believe it, but it never had anything to do with it. But it had everything to do with bringing others in. The whole Title IX piece. That's why they tried to kill the whole ideal of women's sports, again, starting with Barack Hussein Obama. I know it's very difficult, especially if you're black or you're white liberal that voted for Barack Obama. But it was Barack Obama that went here to this country when he was in office. And he said primarily to places like the Department of Education and other federal agencies. By the way, thank God for Elon Musk and Trump. They're cutting all this crazy stuff out and saving you and I, the taxpayer, billions of dollars from these programs. That had nothing to do with black and white people. That had everything to do with Barack, what he wanted to do. He said to the school districts, hey, if you don't allow men into your girls' locker rooms, I'm going to stop funding you. Now that Trump is saying, hey, if you allow a man into those girls' locker rooms, we're going to defund you. Boy, what a contrast there. So Barack opens up the political door, and it was always about, I don't know why, maybe I'll do a show on this at some point. I don't know why. Let me just say for the record, I don't know what Barack Hussein's, just passion for the homosexual community, the lesbian community, the trans community. I'm not sure what it's really all about. I don't. I have my suspicion. I don't like to give opinion in that regard. But he didn't push black issues. No. Come on, go and look at his record. He was, according to Time magazine, the first gay president. Again, I've had those photos up before. He pushed more about the LGBTQ community than any other president, to the point he would even go overseas to the African leaders and said, hey, I want you to imagine this, because, again, we have the receipts here. He went to the African leaders and said, if you do not push homosexuality in your African culture, we will, as the United States of America, like what Trump is doing with Canada and Mexico and the UK. Barack did it, but he did it different. Trump does it and says, hey, if we don't have fair trade, then I'm going to put tariffs on you. In other words, we can trade with each other, but we're not going to allow you to charge us 30% and we charge you nothing. That's ridiculous. Barack Obama, very different. He said to the African nations, push homosexuality or I'm going to stop giving you money. I wonder why is that not talked about? So his primary push was people like who I'm about to show you, pushing an agenda that's not what's called heterosexual normity. Why is it that these agendas were pushed? And by the way, I see it this way. The chickens are coming home to roost, because the only people now that are standing, even in the media field, are those who support and are 100%, usually they live the lifestyle of those who belong to the LGBTQ party. Don't take my word at it. Let's go to a clip. I'll show it to you.
I do not want to lose her as a colleague here at MSNBC, and personally, I think it is a bad mistake to let her walk out the door. It is not my call, and I understand that, but that's what I think. I will tell you, it is also unnerving to see that on a network where we've got two non-white hosts in primetime, both of our non-white hosts in primetime are losing their shows, as is Katie Fang on the weekend. And that feels worse than bad, no matter who replaces them. That feels indefensible, and I do not defend it.
Rachel Maddow, open lesbian, her choice. But don't you find it ironic? Come on, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, America. Can't you see it? They're pushing the LGBTQ. Hey, black people, while you think that you are arm in arm with individuals like this, you're not. They're pushing it for a reason. They're pushing it because the inclusion, the DEI, was all about the Rachel Maddow types. I didn't ask our producers, and I hope you guys can grab the SOT for me here. There was one with Don Lemon, and there was one with Megan. And I found that exchange very interesting because in that exchange, what you see again, you see someone from the LGBT side, I don't know, frowning upon people that, quote, lose their jobs. As Rachel just told you, they're losing them and they're replacing the only people of color. Notice, I wonder what she would say if they replaced her or those that practice openly her type of lived out sexuality. Would she say it's because of, oh, I don't know, their choices? Hey, I'm going to ask our producers if you can just cue up for me the Don Lemon SOT, how he's bashing. And I'll let you see this for yourself. Interesting exchange. Forgive us in advance of some of the profane language. But I want you to see this little drama guy, Don Lemon, or whatever he calls himself. Let's take his look at it and the seismic shifting that's going on within our media. Let's go to that clip.
So let me just say to Megyn Kelly, in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go f*** yourself. This is what Megyn Kelly said about Joy Reid, right? And remember, Joy Reid is a woman. Megyn Kelly's a woman. She's supposed to be all about women and, supports women. Okay, so this is what she said. Remember when Joy Reid laughingly mocked white women tears as pathetic and offensive to her? Who's crying now, Joy? Good riddance to the absolute worst person on television, and shame on NBC for letting it go on this long.
Notice what Don Lemon said, and I wanted to cut the rest of it. I'm glad our guys did. He's so drama that the only thing he could use is just profanity to express himself. If you took time to hear the rest of what Don said, he says he starts out as a person of color. Notice they always go to the color thing, but for those of you that may not know it, the guy that he chooses to practice his sexual lifestyle with is white. Yes, his partner is, I can't make this up, he's a white guy. So the moment that they're in trouble, they go to the skin color. No, this is absurd. Joy Reid is out, as she should be, because her ratings were in the tank. That's entitlement. In other words, let's keep paying someone millions of dollars to offend 80+ million people in the nation to prove that she's fair and she sees life the way it should be seen. And then you bring in Don Lemon? Are you kidding me? This guy's been fired because he was a nut job himself. He only saw the world through, you get it, his sexuality. He only saw the world through, when that didn't work, he saw it through the color of his skin. Well, Dr. King and others understood this much better. Never had anything to do with the color of your skin, but how about this, Don? How about the content of your character, which you don't have any? And this is why you were fired. This is the reason why your podcast is really, really bad. And unless you speak about Megan to get some traction, you have none. Why? Because it's not about those things. It's about earning something. It's about merit. But I don't want us to stop there. I told you there was a seismic change that's happening. It wasn't just in our media. No, it's not just in our politics. It's in our pulpits. Stay tuned. I'll show it to you.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
I got this barbecue smoker for $26.
And shipping is always free.
Go to DealDash.com right now and see how much you can save.
Anybody who owns property should worry about home title theft. There's no other crime that is so easy, so quick, and so lucrative.
Your home, your equity, and your peace of mind can all be stolen in one fell swoop by home title thieves like Matthew Cox.
Nobody thinks that I can take their house. Nobody thinks that.
Believe it or not, a single-page document is all it takes to transfer proof of ownership out of your name.
People think there's a whole huge process, but the truth is, it's a one-page document.
But it still must get through one final barrier, the county clerk.
When someone comes in with a fraudulent deed, if it's notarized and all the spaces are filled in, we by statute have to accept it. We cannot give it back to them and say, we know this is fraudulent, we're not going to file it. That's against the law.
It's public records. It's a recording system. They don't make a phone call, they record it, that's all they do.
Bottom line is, yes, it happens, and we can't stop it from happening, and it only takes once for it to sting you, and it's a very sad thing to watch.
You put your love into the house, and all of a sudden, it might not be yours. It's a devastating crime.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock will monitor your title nonstop, alerting you to suspicious activity.
If you can get a warning notice that this first step has happened, you can stop the rest.
This person from somewhere in New York stole our property. So I was surprised. I talked to my father about it. He advised me that he had taken out Home Title Lock about 8 months earlier. We logged into Home Title Lock. He had 5 alerts. Immediately we contacted them, and within about 2 weeks, the deed was put back in my parents' name.
If you give us a call right now and mention promotional code LOCKIT, we'll give you your first 30 days of protection absolutely free.
Home Title Lock lived up to every promise they made.
Go online or call now, 1-800-493-1175, and sign up today.
Do you have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading?
Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud.
Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers.
Visit legacybox.com.
Attention homeowners. Are you behind on your mortgage payments? Is the bank threatening to take your home? Is your home worth less than you owe? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to call this number right now.
Call 800-714-8615.
The seismic shift is change, rather, is not just, and shifting is not just in the media. It isn't. It's not just in our politics. Those are, again, these are a few what I call arms of expression that we, the people, we live out. It's also happening in our pulpits as well. I have so many friends on this particular topic. I thought about bringing in a couple of my buddies, some Catholic priests, others that are Protestant leaders. But I thought, let's let their own videos begin to speak through them. What you're about to see, it's really hurtful. Not because we're offended over this level of low IQ that's being purported towards this one individual or through this one individual. It's the fact that he could have hundreds of those who he served as a shepherd. I really think he's a hireling. They're jumping up and down. They think that he's saying something profound because he's screaming, he's yelling, he's emotional about it. But this is a blight. This is a blight to those of us who have studied and have a theological background. It really is a blight because this is divisive. I want you to imagine for a moment before I show it to you, I want you to imagine the individual that I show you. I want you to imagine if he was white and he was saying this. And I think you'll begin to feel it. Don't take my word for it. I'm going to show you 2 separate clips. I want to look at the first clip, give comment, and then we'll see the second one in a moment. Let's go to the first clip.
I feel bad for them coons in the White House who are in there tap dancing for massa, wearing bow ties, shinning and grinding, laughing like nothing is funny. But I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door. These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid.
That's Pastor Jamal Bryan. He pastors there in Atlanta, Georgia. This guy has real historical problems here. Forget about he's an apostate. This guy's so far away from orthodoxy, I could do an entire program on it. But notice who he's talking about and who he's actually referencing. There are a group of blacks that President Donald J. Trump brought into the White House, very conservative men, women, that they were there to celebrate during what they call Black History Month. And he called them runaway slaves. Jamal, I want you to pay attention. Your congregation. And by the way, we will get this to your congregation, so you can block us, but we have access to your congregants. And we are going to show them this. We're going to remind them of this because you need to see this. I don't know if our team is ready to put this one thing up. I did it last week with Mr. Bob Whitson. But I want to show just a brief highlight of when you talk about the runaway slaves, who they really were, who they are. It was the 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment, the 15th Amendment. These amendments in a nutshell, and we'll probably put it up in post for you. They dealt with blacks being citizens. The other one dealt with blacks having a right to vote. And it also dealt with the fairness of blacks, for lack of a better word. And here it is right here, the 13th Amendment, just to abolish slavery. Hey, Jamal, congregation down there, it was the Republicans that 100% voted for it. Your party voted against it. By the way, Jamal and your congregation, the 14th Amendment about citizenship for blacks, it was 94% of the Republicans voted for it. 100% of your party, Jamal, voted against it. Jamal, your congregation, the 15th Amendment that allowed blacks to even vote, 100% Republicans voted for it. However, your party, Jamal, you know, you and Kamala and your congregants that may not know this, it was 100% of Democrats that voted against it. So when you call black people that are conservatives, Jamal, coons and runaway slaves, you're right. They ran away from your party. Jamal didn't stop there. He said something else. Let's take a look at it.
Come on, public enemy. I came to tell white supremacists. I came to tell MAGA. I came to tell white privilege. We coming, we coming, we coming. We coming, we coming. God said, when you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of the State Department. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of Congress and run them out of Senate. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them off of your job and run them off of your classroom.
This is pathetic. This almost feels like I'm watching a satire. Hey, Jamal, what I find very interesting, while you're asking your congregation just to give God glory, to run them out, who are you running out? You mean you're running out guys like Dr. Martin Luther King? I can tell you what he said about it, and I'll make sure that everyone understands it. He called abortion slavery in the womb. Are you talking about running out those white and black people that believe that life begins there? When you talk about boycotting Target and other places, Jamal, you didn't boycott them when they were anti-Christian. You didn't boycott them when they were dressing little boys like little girls. Every week, we do it here. We'll do it again next week. Until then, I bid you peace.
Are you sitting right now? It could be harming your health. Back pain, stress, and serious health risks can build up from sitting too long. But motion changes everything. Introducing Ready Rocker with its patented Rock Perfect design that supports your spine as it helps improve posture, relieve back pain, boost circulation, and release endorphins for your overall well-being, no matter where you are. Lightweight, portable, and covered in memory foam, Ready Rocker instantly transforms any chair or space into a healthier sitting experience.
Sitting too long isn't just uncomfortable, it's unhealthy. With Ready Rocker, we make sitting a healthier experience for people of all ages.
From soothing babies to helping with posture, back pain, and stress, we discovered that rocking can truly improve lives.
Sitting is the new smoking. A sedentary lifestyle, whether you're sitting at a desk or in a vehicle all day, is not good for the body to just stay in that same position. And that's why the Ready Rocker is so effective. The rocking motion constantly keeps you active and helps you ease pain, reduces stress. It actually releases endorphins in the brain. It's a mood booster.
I used to be in pain all the time, but with Ready Rocker, I felt relief, and I'm in a better mood. I take it everywhere.
I can literally feel the stress being taken off my joints while rocking.
My back stopped hurting, my arthritis felt better. It's just wonderful.
Now you can join the movement that's changing lives and helping thousands find relief. Call now or go online to get 35% off your purchase. We'll even ship it for free. Plus, you'll get this bonus canvas tote bag.
Ready Rocker is changing lives one rock at a time.
Now it's your turn to experience the relief for yourself.
Call 1-800-592-1572 or go to GetReadyRocker.com. That's 1-800